The Fujicast is an independent loading zone production.
Kev, that's it. Holiday's done for another another year, Kev. Another year.
Ooh.
Did you enjoy your Spanish time? You did,
Yeah,
didn't you? Yeah.
it was lovely. Yeah, it was really lovely.
Yeah.
Absolutely lovely. Even the drive there and back was lovely.
Yeah. Well, you did this like 5, 6, 7 day drive, didn't you? Each way.
2.5 days each way.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, it was lovely.
Came back on the ferry though, didn't you? Did you went? Where did you catch the ferry from?
Dover to Calais. It's like an hour, isn't it? That's nothing.
Oh right, and then Calais, Dover, back again.
Yeah.
Why didn't you use the super fast shuttle thing?
Because this is a lot more expensive.
Oh, right.
Simple as that.
I forget these are thrifty times now.
Yeah, and actually, it's more exciting for the kids, isn't it? So they've never been on a ferry before, so when on a ferry, they get to see all of the other boats in the channel.
Yeah,
for an hour.
I tell you what, this is the time if you want to go across on a ferry this time of year. I don't think the kids would thank you in the middle of November.
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Thanks, Dad. Not enjoying this so much as
we've done Gemma and I have done the Santander ferry before, which is like an overnight. It's a 15-hour thing, and that's not fun. It's just not fun. I mean, it's easier because you can then just get off the boat and drive straight down to southern Spain, but it's not fun.
Nobody sleeps when you're rolling out of your bunk. That's for sure.
The Fujicast.
Anyway, welcome back, Kev. It's nice to have you back.
How was the US of A?
Well, it was very exciting. Kev did some very exciting things.
Now, I want to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Were you awake when your little boy took that great picture of the Northern Lights through the window of the plane?
Well, I was trying to sleep, but he kept going, Dad, got the Northern Light, Dad, Northern Light, Dad. I was thinking, Northern Light, no, it can't be the Northern Lights. Dad, Northern, yeah. So yes, I was awake. No, I was awake, but you couldn't see it very well.
The picture came out great. I saw the picture Sam posted on Facebook. I thought, wow, that's an amazing thing to see.
Picture came out brilliantly, but that's the thing about the Northern Lights, isn't it? More often than not, those that take pictures of the Northern Lights will tell you that the camera seems to pick up a much better rendition than your eyes will. And that was true on this occasion. At the end of the flight, Kev, we went up to the flight deck, and because that's what our youngest wants to do. And he said, "Can I go?" Now these days, I don't have to say, "Can our boy visit the flight deck?" He's got all the brawn, and he just asks when he gets on board. Do you think at the end of the flight I could go and see the captain? And so he went to see the captain, Captain Ben, brilliant on Virgin. What a great airline, by the way. Have you flown Virgin before, Kev?
I have, yeah.
What a lovely airline.
Times.
I've got to say that the most welcoming experience ever. Anyway, he went up to see Captain Ben at the end, and he said, I got a picture of the Northern Lights. And Captain Ben looked at it, he said, I didn't get that, didn't see that. And he was thrilled to pieces that he got something that Captain Ben hadn't got. And now, Captain Ben said, would you send me that picture? And he sent him the picture that you've seen. And he's put it on his Captain Ben's Virgin Instagram.
Oh, brilliant.
And so the captain is sharing he did credit him. He didn't say, I saw this out of my window. But,
how old was Captain Ben?
About same age as, somewhere between you and I, Kev.
So my Albie's friend, little friend Harry, who came with us to the Arsenal game yesterday, in fact.
Yeah.
His dad is a Virgin pilot.
Oh.
And he was coming back from America yesterday morning.
What part? There's a lot of it.
I don't know. I just said to Harry, "Oh, Harry, where's your dad coming from? Where's your dad been?" "Oh, no, America, I think. Come back today. What time's kickoff?"
Do you know, it comes to something when because I think it's a pretty cool job that your son would I don't know, he's America or somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. He goes all over the place. But he was definitely America. But I also don't know what Harry's dad's name is. So
well, there was there was another the first officer who was brilliant was an ex-RAF one, and there was Captain Ben, and they were both lovely. Did you know, by the way, not that I want to turn this into an air plane spotting experience, but the A350, which is a huge plane, which I believe is as big, if not just a smidge longer, although not as high as the A380, that super jumbo thing.
You dork.
Yeah, I know. But I was... But I tell you what, Kev, you want to go into a new job in YouTube, go for the plane spotting ones. I mean, honestly, every single video. I'll tell you about wavy boats in a minute, but they have a bit in the back where the crew climb up into the tail and they sleep.
Yeah, they got their own little sleeping place, haven't they? Yeah.
They look really cosy to me. I thought, quite fancy a bit of that. Never mind sleeping up front for $10,000 or whatever it costs.
Yeah.
But there we go. Yeah, Wavy Boats, Kev. That's what you need. YouTube, called a channel called Wavy Boats. I'll let you look it up. But I met the guy that runs Wavy Boats, and all he does is watch boats come in on waves in inlets along the coast of Florida when it gets a bit wavy. And he gets 100,000 views here, 100,000. His life is lived around wavy boats, Kev. That's what you need. You need a channel about wavy boats. Have you got something you could you do wavy boats along the river?
No, I don't know, I could do Fat People of Malmesbury.
I'm not quite sure that would get the same thing.
It'd mostly be focused on me.
Oh, Kev, have you come back several pounds heavier?
Just me sitting on the chair. Yeah, I'd say so. I don't know. I didn't look. I did go to the gym this morning, though, but there we go. Anyway, Let's get on with it.
Let's get. Oh, I've just seen one wavy boats one, Kev. Right, here we go. Wavy boats, the worst boat fails. This was 3 months ago. The worst boat fails ever filmed at Hallover Inlet. Boat sinking. 3 months ago. 1.8 million views. They're all okay, but essentially he's watching people and filming them take their $300,000 lovely boats into the water and then sinking them. Right.
I'll check it out.
We got a book today, haven't we?
We have. We've got a little book. A little book from my friend Gary. Camden Passage, it's called. We'll get to that.
Camden Passage, okay.
Have a guess what it's about.
Would it be a passage in Camden, in London, by any chance?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Let's start with the questions. It's so hot in here today, Kev.
Well, I wore my shorts to work today, and I got to the studio and it pissed down with rain. I couldn't believe it. For 5 minutes.
In Malmesbury, raining.
Yeah, proper rain shower. Honestly, and now it's grey and miserable.
And it's not like that. It's really sunny here, and it's so hot that you could honestly cook an egg on the mixing desk.
Muggy.
Do you want to do questions first, or can you go first?
I'll go first.
Yeah,
I've got one from 6 days ago. Helg Burland. He says, "Do you have any beliefs in a new XS series camera with the X-Trans 5 sensor? I'm currently on an XS10, wondering about upgrading to the XS20 for the better battery, autofocus, and those lovely new film simulations. Cheers from a new listener from Norway."
Well, you like the XS cameras, don't you? I've never used the XS cameras.
I had the XS10 on loan for like a week to do a review or something, and it was fine, but I didn't need it. However, I did buy the XS20.
Yeah.
And I think it's a fab little camera. I don't use it for stills. It's sat on my YouTube rig, so all my YouTube videos are filmed with that XS20.
Oh, is it that one camera that you use?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Always XS20, just sat on the rig there. Sorry, can you hear that? Can you hear that rumbling?
No, what's the rumbling? Well, just gently. What is it?
Thunder, I think.
Is it? You got thunder there, Kev?
Yeah.
We had a lot of that in Orlando. Poof! And especially down Miami. Poof!
Yes. So, so what I would say to answer your question is I think the XS20 is a good, strong upgrade from the XS10. I think it's certainly, better autofocus. You do get those lovely film simulations as well. But as I always say, situations like this, if the XS10 is doing what you need it to do, don't worry too much. But definitely, if you're thinking about doing any kind of film clips, XS20 will be a lot stronger than the XS10. And it's a nice, and it's a budget camera. It goes right under the radar quite a lot, the XS range. It's ergonomically, it's a bit funny. Some people will love it, some people won't. But it's nice and cheap, and it's a good gateway into the system. XS20, I think, is a good shout if you have the spondoolies for it up there in Norway land, Helg. I'm
sure they do. They're all rich in Norway land, Kev. Everybody drives. What are those cars? Not the Tesla, the other one. Polestar. Everybody's got a Polestar, Kev.
Yeah, £25 a pint.
Yeah. Can have an XS for every single day of the week. Yeah. Stephen Murphy. Hi, Neil. Hi, Kev. Have either of you two lads used the Leica or the Pentax monochrome cameras? What are your thoughts on them? If you did, and do you think it's something that Fujifilm could pursue? We've had this question a lot of times, but but there's always new listeners, and there's always new thoughts on it. We've got to that stage where we don't think that Fujifilm as a business would ever choose to do that. Although Pentax did. Leica, I understand the Leica approach to it. I do. And if ever there was a brand where the whole thing fits, it's them, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Pentax, yeah, okay. Fujifilm, we are both together on not thinking that it would ever be something that, in terms of commercialism, would work at all for them. There just wouldn't be the demand. I mean, I know Stephen Murphy wants one, I want one, you want one, but what's the demand likely to be like, do you think, Kev?
Whoa. Did you hear that?
Oh, there was a big bang then, Kev.
That was a massive flash of lightning and an enormous thunder.
I tell you why I heard it, because you went all...
That was right above my head. God. I knew it was coming as well, because I saw the flash, and you got like 1 second, haven't you? We might get a few of these throughout the show.
We might be struggling with this one. Go on then. So commercialism, Kev, before we get another clap of thunder. It's not going to work, is it?
Yeah, no, I don't. There's been enough. I remember sitting, and I've told this story before. I remember sitting in the back of the car in Japan once with one of the high-end executives of Fujifilm, and he said, "What's your thoughts on a monochrome Fujifilm camera?" This was like 7, 8 years ago, I guess. So before like the newer range of cameras. And it was me, Zach Arias, and this chap, and David Hobby, in fact. And we were all like, yeah, absolutely, would love it. But we all kind of said, would it sell? And he was like, I would love to do it, absolutely love to do it, but we do not think we would sell enough. Bearing in mind, there's still, the mirrorless marketplace is mostly Sony and Canon. If you look at the percentages, that's what gets the market. So I don't think from a commercial point of view that it would work for them, and I don't think Fujifilm would ever do it. And to answer the original question, no, I have tried a monochrome on a workshop. Somebody brought one and I've used it actually a couple of times, and I do love it. I've never edited any images from it or anything like that. It feels great in the hands.
Yeah,
I would love a Fujifilm mirror monochrome camera. And if I had the spondoolies and money was no object, which clearly is not a thing, then I would get a monochrome Leica camera. Why not? I would love to be able to do that as a gift to myself. But I can't. I won't. I can't at the moment. So no, I don't think one will come. I would love to see one come. I haven't used in earnest a monochrome Leica camera. I would if I could, but I can't.
No. Don't think it's going to happen, Stephen. But we live in hope.
We do. Can you hear that rain?
I can't hear the rain. What is going on in Malmesbury? Have you got a microclimate or something?
It's flipping biblical.
I did hear another little rumble. But yeah, is it heading this way?
Poor Rosa's out on a horse.
Oh no! Oh well, that's not good because horses sometimes get spooked.
Yeah,
she'd have taken that horse in by now. Anyway. We should, at this point, while we still can, and Kev's not being interrupted by thunder, thank our sponsors, Pick Time, because they keep the show here, and we're both fond users of Pick Time. It's quite different for you now, though, Kev, because with the weddings, I use Pick Time to show my weddings. It is the gallery I use. I've used others, but the moment I started using Pick Time, I've never looked back. There was no other gallery because you can make them look just like your website. It's a much better way to display your images. You can choose and you can champion images within your gallery, which I think is a really nice way when it comes to displaying to clients the story of their day. I think that's really important to be able to do that, to have hero images. But what are you going to do with yours now, Kev? Because obviously now that you're not doing weddings, well, what's going to live on your Pick Time account?
So I'm currently editing my last wedding. So that will go up, and I continue to use it for my family photography and my commercial stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'll keep it. I think my ultimate plan will be to email all my clients probably in about 18 months, all my past clients, and say, you know what, download your stuff now, and then I'll downgrade probably to the non-eternal storage space version, but I'll certainly keep using it because it's great for everything. I think there's this kind of misnomer about PicTime that it only works for wedding photographers, but that's absolutely not true.
No.
I actually know one of the chaps in Malmesbury who mostly does interiors, proper high-end interior stuff. He uses it for his client delivery, and the clients that he has who are, they're often interior designers, that kind of stuff. They love it because they can then display it to their potential clients in a really beautiful way. So, yeah, it'll be part of my business for as long as I'm running my photography business.
If you want to have a gallery like what Kev has, what I have, then go to pic-time.com. And if you put Fujicast in the when you go to checkout, you'll get 1 month free, Kev. 1 month free.
Capital F, capital R, capital E, capital E.
Although you don't have to do the capitals anymore for Fujicast. It only took us about a year and a half to work that one out, but there we go. Right, questions. Yours, Kev. Well, that was a clap of me, not a clap of thunder.
I have a question from Paul Sillard, who actually he's got 3 questions in a row here, and we'll go for the top one first. I know that this is a personal choice, but what lens do you shoot mostly with your X100 on the X100 VI? When I first read this, I thought, hang on, this doesn't make any sense. But then he goes on to say, I have both converters, wide and tele, and of course with the VI, we have the luxury of digital zooms, which we do indeed. You also had that on the X100V.
Yeah, you had that on the V. I've used that.
What do you use the most and why? Second question. Oh, he's got 4 in technically.
Well, should we take one per time? Go on.
Let's do that one. What do you use, the tele converter, wide converter?
Well, I have both. I have both tele and wide. And for a long time, I went through using the wide a lot. But now I've gone back to just having it as a 23mm flavour. And in America, America, I only used 23mm for the whole, and in fact I took the zoom or the telly rather, not zoom, I took the telly because I thought, right, I'm going to do some portraits, some street portraits, and best laid plans. I chatted to plenty of people, I had loads of encounters, but I didn't do any street portraits like I was planning to, but I did 23mm for the whole lot when I was filming, because I used it for filming as well on the V, and for all the stills. Wasn't quite wide enough for some of the stuff when it came to, when we went to one of the theme parks. I wanted to pull right back, but I couldn't. Just needed that smidge more. And I think the wide angle converter gives you, in essence, the 28mm look, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I'm the same as you. I have both of them. I have the original version 1s of them. I didn't buy the new ones. And I went through a period of using both of them quite a lot. Yeah. I take them with me all the time when I go and do my street photography stuff, and I very rarely, if ever, I can't remember the last time, in fact, I pull them out. So yeah, I mean, you do have that luxury of the digital zoom now on the X100V and the X100VI. So the teleconverter might be a little bit kind of overkill, but wide, your mileage may vary. Like you said, you might get stuck in a situation like you did in America where you could have needed it. They're small, if you have them and you've got space in the bag, just stick them in.
They're not massive, are they? You can't use them when you're shooting, or RAW, by the way, doesn't count. If you're shooting RAW, the teleconverter, or rather the
digital one,
digital converter, the digital zoom doesn't work.
It does work, but it will just crop it in the when it comes into Lightroom. You'll see it cropped.
Oh, does it?
You'll always have the wider view available. Yeah.
Oh, when I twist it on the V, I don't get it. Doesn't.
Do you have the version 1 or version 2?
Oh, I've got version 1s.
Yeah. So unless you go into the menu and tell it you've got it loaded, it has that information across. So, but you're right. I mean, ultimately, you can always crop it yourself.
Yeah.
Right, let's do his second question.
Second one. So you had 4, didn't you? 4.
I'll leave his other 2 ones.
No. Have them, Kev. Have them. Go on, Kev.
Well, there's loads. Second question. Which is your most used film simulation? Or do you just use RAW to make this decision in post?
Yep. RAW decision in post.
Well, so I mostly shoot RAW plus JPEG, and I use one of my own custom settings, which I use a new one that I've done called documentary monochrome. That's typically what I have set as my view, at least. And then whether I edit from JPEG or edit from RAW doesn't really matter. But a lot of people just shoot JPEG. And as you know, whether other people know or not, I don't know. I always have my camera set to black and white, always, even if I'm shooting RAW. So I like to have that kind of contrasty monochrome. I call it documentary monochrome film simulation, which I really like, and I use that to see and sometimes to keep.
Right. you just sort of stopped there. I was listening, Kev.
I got thunder everywhere. Literally, it's rolling around. I don't know if it's coming your way, but
if it is, that will be ironic. I haven't done a photo shoot around or a family shoot around the lakes close to where I live for nigh on 5 years, Kev. This is the first time I've organised one. I said, the weather looks lovely. If you're sending it this way, the weather's not going to... Because that's what I'm doing after this. I'm going to get the Malmesbury monsoon by the sound of it.
I'm going to look on my Posh Weather app and see where this is going.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of angry little yellow and red flashes above us now.
Really?
No, it's going north. So if you're in Northampton, it's coming your way.
Well, nobody will know that yet, Kev. Even though we're it's not live radio, Kev. Just a reminder. Go on then, third question.
Right, he says, hi guys, thanks for reading out my question about PicTime art galleries. I forgot to add the link, which I had promised for my site. So here are 2 links for you and your guests to peruse. I'll read them out, but we will include them on the thing. It's probably a bit easier. HTTPS Paul's Media, that's an S, .pic-time.com, paulsmedia.au. It's easier to go to the show notes and click on the link. We will include them, Paul.
Yeah.
And he does have a fourth question to kind of follow on from what he asked earlier, basically. The film simulation versus RAW dilemma. I know that the answer is to shoot both, but I would love to hear what you tend to use and any thoughts on the matter. Well, we just answered that, I guess. Fujifilm is well known for their film sims, and many photographers are attracted to the brand because of this. However, I have proven to myself that shooting RAW produces higher quality images than JPEGs, correct, with more details and deeper color renditions. So should I use mainly the RAW shots and rely on the JPEGs only for quick reference, or should I use the JPEGs with a carefully selected film simulation and only fall back to the RAW if needed? What do you mainly use? So, well, my answer to that is for personal stuff, I mostly end up keeping the JPEGs and not worrying about the RAWs. But for my commercial stuff, I pretty much always edit from the RAWs using my presets now. But, again, I mean, that point he says that I have proven to myself that shooting RAW produces higher quality images than JPEGs. That is technically true in that you do get more stops of dynamic range in terms of latitude for editing. I don't necessarily agree with the fact that those images are better quality straight out of the can. You just have more latitude to do things with it. That's what I would say.
I spent a large proportion of my career in weddings shooting and presenting just JPEG weddings, and I was really, really, really happy with what came out. Right, have another question, then we'll do a book. Alex Hackney. That was all 4 questions, wasn't it, Kev? I think
that was it.
All 4 things. Right.
This was the Paul Sillard Show.
Alex Hackney. Hello, my friends. Hope you're doing well. I recently came into possession of a couple of boxes of photographs that I'd really love to back up to my computer. What is the best way to go about doing so? Any tips or tricks to do this would be greatly appreciated. Just tried scanning them in and it worked okay. Wasn't sure there was a better way to go about it. Love all you do. Thanks in advance for the help. Alex, who is in Ohio. The only way I've ever done it is by scanning. And it's long-winded, but it's the only way I know, Kevin. It's the best way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure necessarily it is the best way because I've never done it this way. I've only ever scanned them also. I've got a nice Epson scanner that has the ability to do that. But you probably will get better quality than scanning if you use a camera, mirrorless camera, or DSLR.
Oh, yeah, but that's going to take forever, Kev.
It will take a long time, but but it depends on how much quality you want.
Right.
You will, ultimately, especially if you use something like a GFX, you will get higher resolution images than if you used a standard scanner, unless you're spending hundreds of thousands on a scanner. So there's options, but the YouTube is absolutely full to the brim of not only wavy boat watchers, but people telling you how to scan or photograph the negatives, and go from there. So you will need a very steady setup, overhead kind of rig, and decent lighting system. But you will get better results.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck.
And then of course, back them up to pick time. That's what I say.
Now, from one part of London, i.e. Hackney, to another borough of London or part of London, which is where your book is. Do you like that, Kev? Do you like the connection?
Very good. We're going from Hackney, mate. We're going from Hackney to Camden, innit?
Camden. Oh, I think that's about £7.50.
Yeah, £7.50 in 1985. Nowadays, it's going to cost you 45 quid.
Yeah, probably would.
Don't forget a tip, though, mate. Don't forget.
Oh, go on.
Don't be sick and back my car.
Don't be
sick and back my car. Cost you 400 quid.
Oh God, yeah, no.
So we are going to the Little Book of Camden Passage, and this is by a friend of mine, Gary Williams, who kindly sent me a copy of the book. And I will read the blurb very quickly. It's actually a lovely little book, and I've kind of I speak to him regularly, and I've kind of watched this journey progress. So it's really nice to see it come to fruition. And it says the idea was inspired by photos I took of shopkeepers in Varanasi in India years ago. And he says I did more of that on a subsequent trip to Old Delhi under the direction of Martin Parr. When I returned to London, started to photograph shopkeepers closer to my home. In 2020, I discovered Camden Passage, a little street close to my home, filled with independent shops and market traders. Each one of them has a story to tell. From there, it wasn't long before I turned my camera to the shoppers, the coffee drinkers, and the passerbys. After 4 years in the making, this project has come to represent not only this street, but in many ways, every high street and community. It's about the diverse people who shop, eat and drink on our high streets, and the local business owners who offer not just products, but a sense of belonging. And it is a lovely little book, a small A5 book. There's a lot of text in there at the beginning where, kind of describing what's going on, what images you can expect, etc. And Gary has self-published this, or he's put all the effort in, but he's done it properly. So there's an ISBN number, you can buy it online, etc. And it's just full of absolutely adorable, but just simple portraits. You mentioned you wanted to do street portraits in America, and we never kind of got around to it. I'm guilty of that as well. There's some absolutely lovely portraits, but then there's often context to them. So, you might have a kind of close-up of jewelry on somebody's hands along with the portrait itself. Yeah. Now, along the way, Gary sent me several proofs of this, and we talked about kind of the layout of the book and the flow, and he's nailed it perfectly. So on some pages, you'll really notice a keen eye for the composition of the structure or the layout of the pages, I should say. So, for example, I know that you don't have a copy of this at the moment, but page 73 and 74, lovely lady kind of stood in a shop doorway, looking over to her right, and then on the next hand side is a mannequin with this very old lace headset. Very similar kind of pose, certainly staring in the same direction, etc. So it's a really, really well put little book. Put together little book, and if you're from that area of London, or you like Camden, or certainly if you know Camden Passage, you'll really love this book. I think it's a really, really sweet little thing. Now you can, and Gary has put a lot of time and effort into this. He is a Fujicast listener. You can go to his website, garywilliams.photography, and just click on the link at the top. It says Camden Passage book. And you can buy it directly online there if you so wish, or you could just read about it. It's not expensive, £16 thereabouts. 96 pages, cloth bound with foil print cover. And it's really cool actually, because it's just a bright red. The cover is bright red with gold lettering.
Do you know who he published it through? I like them.
It's published through Photo Book Cafe Shop.
Photo Book Cafe Shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they do the publishing of it as well, but
not one I know. I don't know that one.
It's certainly, it's certainly for sale on there, and I believe it went through there.
They fulfill the orders as well, do they?
Looks like it, yeah. But yes, I'm fairly sure that that's where it's all done through. But it's nice, yeah.
How many, did you say how many pages?
96.
96. Oh, okay. Decent sized book, Kev.
Yeah. It's a lovely book. It's really nice because it's, you know, it's not a massive tome of a book where you'd expect to be paying 60, 70 quid. And it's just really, really lovely, well put together. And, you know, the pictures are strong. The pictures are excellent. Yeah. But what I really like about it is that Gary has taken time and effort to think about the flow of the images.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really, really nice. And I'm glad I'm really, really happy that it's kind of come to fruition. It's nice when you make something, isn't it? Like that. So well done, Gary.
Do you know why it's called? Do you know why it's called Camden Passage?
Because that's the name of the street.
It was originally a quiet path between the villages, Kev.
Oh, I see.
When it used to be Islington Village and Camden Village. But then as the villages grew in the 18th and 19th century, it became an important route and it attracted businesses. And these days, it's I would imagine it's one of those really trendy parts of London, isn't it? Camden Passage now.
Yeah. I know, it's lovely up there.
Close to the Angel Tube Station. Not far away from our glorious team that you went to over the weekend, Kev.
Did you? Yeah, I went yesterday. Arsenal Station.
Yeah.
Took the kids up there.
Yeah, did they enjoy it?
Yeah. Me and Postman Matt went. His son Sam, Albie and Harry.
Yeah.
I got tickets in row 1 behind the goal. So if you look carefully, you'll see us on the highlights. Brutally hot.
I bet.
Absolutely brutally hot.
We went to see David Beckham's team in Miami.
Oh yeah.
I managed to. We didn't see Lionel Messi, which I was really hoping to watch him play. That would have been amazing. But we watched some of the other stars. But I tell you what, the tickets there, Kev, so expensive. We did $20 tickets. Okay, so that, and you would have been in the, I think, the southeast. So there's a kind of a stand there because the whole thing is going to move to Miami. It's a stadium, but it's a stadium out of a box at the moment, and then it will be a big stadium in Miami. But if you wanted main stand seats, it would have been $175, $180, which I thought was a lot of money for soccer, as it's called in America. A lot of money.
Yeah, money.
But fortunately, Chief Blagger here, I managed to get us into the VIP friends and relatives of players suite. I don't know how I did it, Kev. So we watched the game not from our $20 seats, but from the VIP area where you go out onto a balcony and you watch the match with all the free food and drink you could ever want.
Well, I hope you asked for your $20 tickets back because they would have been empty otherwise.
I certainly ate. Well, the three of us went, me, Sam, and our eldest, Jack. $60, plus it was $53 parking, Kev. I certainly ate all that money back in steak and cheesecake. But there we go. Right, good book. We'll put the link for it on the show page today. Do you want to do a question or is it me? I don't know.
It's you. You're next.
Right, let's find a shorty. Here
I am.
No, I'm not that short, Kev. Let's go for Matt N. Hi there, guys. Fan of the show, have a question for you. I've heard you talk a lot about PicTime and Squarespace, to a lesser degree, Squarespace. Well, I don't know. We talk about Squarespace a lot, but obviously not as much as PicTime. Wonder if you might take some time during an episode to discuss or explain the difference between the two. What are the differences? How do you use the two together? I have a Squarespace account as I start to build a website. It's not public yet as I've not completed it. Now I wonder if PicTime might be a different or better way to go. Appreciate any info you may provide. Keep up the awesome work and love the show. Since you mentioned my Instagram is, did we mention, Kev? At photos by Matt, with 2 T's, at photos by Matt James. Thanks again, Matt. I'm not sure I would use PicTime as my main website, but I suppose there's no reason why you couldn't.
You can. Yeah, you can use it. I mean, it will be limited in terms of what you can do. For example, you wouldn't easily be able to, I mean, you can do blogging, but it's not as straightforward.
No.
You can't have kind of independent pages and all of that kind of stuff. So you can use PicTime, but it would be very much a gallery-based template site.
And since you're very proud of your Instagram, one of the things you wouldn't be able to do is have the sort of the widget or whatever it's called to show your Instagram down, say, the right-hand side of the page or something. You wouldn't be able to do that. You'd have a link to it, but you couldn't show it within your website. You wouldn't be able to show it.
Yeah, it all depends ultimately on what you need. But yeah, you're right. There's Squarespace is a fully functional content management system. So, as your website grows, your business grows, you'll probably need more than what PicTime can offer you in terms of a full website. But you can integrate the PicTime galleries, as both Neil and I do, into your Squarespace website, and indeed WordPress and various any website really. But yeah, the Squarespace, I would say, if you are, if you want to kind of build on things in the future, probably best to go with that, and then integrate your PicTime gallery to it.
Right, Kev. We're firing through these. We haven't got much more time. We're doing a shorty today because, as you probably recognise, the episode is coming out a little bit later because I only got back yesterday and we didn't get a chance to record another show, Kev, while we were both on hollybobs. So let's have just one more. Let's do it from Facebook, from you.
Okay, but from Ben Niznik, it says, "Hi Kev, hi Neil. If you had to shoot a wedding with only one lens, which would it be and why? Also, what's your all-time favourite lens?"
See, I do love the 56, and I shoot. If I looked at the numbers of the images when I get back and download them and start to sort through them, edit them, I know that a lot of my favourites will be through the 56. But it's a bit limiting, Kev, when you're trying to do documentary work. So that would be a bit tricky. I'd probably have to say a lens that I'm not using at the moment, which would be the 23. I've been using the 18 a lot. But I just like the 23 just a tad more. For the way that I see things, I think that would have to be the one. Or maybe between the two, Kev, maybe I'd have to choose a 35.
Maybe, but do you shoot with the 35 much?
No.
Well, yeah,
so 56, it would be it.
So there's two parts of the question.
Yeah.
If you had to shoot a wedding with only one lens, which would it be? My answer would be the 18mm, because you can basically get everything in. You can get up close, you can go far away, you can get a lot of context in it. And also, what is your favourite lens of all time? And that probably is the 56mm 1.2 from me. But I would never think about shooting a whole wedding with it. In fact, never think about shooting a whole wedding again.
Okay. Well, you say that, but you've also said to me recently, never say never. Which
No, if the right one comes along, I'll still do it. Right now.
Does the right now? Does the right one have to have lots of spondoodies attached to it, or is it one where you think, I really fancy doing that?
Not necessarily. It might be friends, family. It might be people I know. It might be might be lots of money involved. I don't know, but yes, whatever. But for now, no. Anyway,
right, and that's it for this week. I'm sorry it went out a little bit later, but you've got it now. You're listening to it, so it's okay. It's all right. Everything goes back to normal in the next couple of weeks. We've got we'll have one of our pop-ups next week, and then we're back into the normal flow the week after that. And then I go away actually for 2 weeks, Kev, so maybe the normal flow is not resumed. I'm off to Scotland. Kev. 2 weeks. Scotland. I'm looking forward to it very, very much. If you'd like to send your questions in, please keep doing it. Email click@fujicast.co.uk. click@fujicast.co.uk. If you want to send it in by or join in through the Facebook group, how, Kev, do we do that?
Go to Facebook, search Fujicast. Join the group, 3,500 other very happy people, and there's a thread at the top or a pin post that says questions for the show 2024, and pop your question in there, and at some point we may get to it.
May get to it. Well, has the thunder stopped? Has the thunder and the lightning stopped, Kev?
Yes, I think it has.
And
I can hear birds singing again now. Usually the birds go and hide, don't they, when the thunder's out?
Yeah.
I can hear the birds tweeting again.
Yeah, I tell you what, in La 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 America, with the part where I was, when it starts thundering, Kev, whoa, it's wild. Wild. It suddenly goes dark. And then it's all sunny again. Weird. Anyway, that's it. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks, Kev. Bye. Bye-bye.
The Fujicast is an independent Loading Zone production. Email the show with your questions and words of wisdom to click@fujicast.co.uk. Email any complaints and political nonsense to our wives, who will deal with your comments in their own good time and in their own good way.